We're talking with Kevin McLean with Dow Building Products. Kevin, you're providing the insulation board. Is that what you call it, or blue board?
Yeah, you can call it either. It's insulation board. It's blue. It's all of those. Yeah, it's the insulation board that's going to serve as a blanket all the way around the house.
Now, what is the purpose for putting, because we're already going to insulate the walls. How does this help? This is a 1-inch piece of board that where you can see behind us, we're putting on most of the house. How does this help on the outside as opposed to the insulation on the inside?
They work together, Chris. What happens is the insulation between the studs works with the insulation on the outside to make a complete insulation system. Every place you have a stud, you have a potential for a thermal leak. So when you put this blue board on the outside, that stops all the thermal leaks through the studs so that the whole insulation system works together.
So basically, if you're thinking in terms of R value, which a lot of people do, this is a
1-inch piece of foam. It has an R value of 5, so 5 per inch on the outside is what we're doing.
So if you combine that with the R19 that we're putting in the 2x6 wall cavities, that's R24. That's pretty good insulation.
It's extremely good because the R19, without this on the outside, we're probably functioning more like maybe about 12 to 15. Now with this on the outside, yeah, you've got 24 all the way around.
Because if you're looking at the entire wall, even though it may be insulated at an R19, you have to factor in all of the studs that are in that wall.
Exactly, all the stud losses there. That's what you have to factor in, and that's what we call an effective R value. So that effective R value is lower because of the studs, but this compensates for that.
Now, we also have 1/2 inch that we're going to put up where you see the wind braces or the OSB. We're going to put 1/2 inch over that, so it's all completely covered with the Dow product.
Exactly, and that's important because if you don't put insulation over top of the OSB, that OSB has a relatively low R value, and it's a place for thermal loss. So putting the 1/2 inch product, which has an R value of 3 over top of that, compensates for the low R value of the OSB.
I might also note that we're going to also use this material and go all the way to the roof line between the porch and the attic, which is going to be an unvented attic, as well as in the garage, and use it as a barrier up in those areas as well.
Well, that's great because those areas they typically don't have a whole lot of insulation in them in the first place, and this is going to provide some additional insulation that's going to definitely help.
Besides the insulation, there are other things or other properties that the Dow board also provides, correct?
That is absolutely correct, and one of those is additional properties that you get from the Dow board is the fact that it is a very effective air barrier. And one thing that homeowners don't want is a drafty house, because a drafty house is uncomfortable. The blue board does a great job of stopping air infiltration at the point of entry, and in doing so, that house is a lot more comfortable.
Now, Kevin, one of the other Dow products that we use in this house is Sill Seal. Explain what Sill Seal is.
Sill Seal is a very simple invention that works quite effectively at doing a couple of things. First off, it's polyethylene, so it's nice and flexible as opposed to the rigid blue board, and it goes at the sill plate level, or at the plate that's at the very bottom, sitting on the foundation. And its primary purpose is it keeps moisture from wicking up into the wood. So it sits there, it acts as a separation between the concrete and the bottom sill plate. And in doing so, there's a lot of moisture that's still in that concrete. So it blocks the infiltration of that moisture into the wood. So it adds durability to the home.
Now, I would also think that it would do a certain amount of sealing that bottom plate to the concrete for air drafts as well.
That's the secondary purpose of it, is to act as a air infiltration stop as well. It goes there and it goes at the bottom, and it makes up for any imperfections in the wood or the concrete so that air doesn't have a clear path through. It also has a third option to it too that's little known about it, and that is it stops the entry of insects from that bottom plate. So it does a very effective job of doing that as well.
Bug protection.
Bug protection, yes. We won't call it bug proof because nothing's bug proof, but yeah.
Kevin McLean with Dow Building Products. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, Chris. Thank you.